what you've just, I do that at home. I tell my wife I've cleaned, I've done the dog, I've ironed, I've washed, and all that. And it's made me think about the reasons I do that, which is just exactly how you described it. It looks like I'm looking for some kind of praise.
Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for validation in all the wrong places. Looking for the creative energy in all the wrong places. But you know why you do it? Because when someone is in a mode of appreciation, they're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, they're holding you as their object of attention, and they're just flooding it all over you, and it feels good. And we can see why you'd want more of that. Just don't get confused about where it's really coming from. And that you don't need somebody else to be the conduit for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, still figuring it out, clearly.
Yeah. Eternally.
Yeah.
Eternally. Another loop opens, another loop opens, another loop opens. No ending.
So there's a few things that have come up from me just sitting on the edge of my seat.
It's our favorite thing.
I mean, you talk about leading edge. This is edge of your seat content and
Got to be the
conversation.
leading edge right here, right here. Right here. Leading edge right here. Esther took a granddaughter and they went to a fire display in Canada. And it was different than any fireworks display. And it was misty and it was on water and it was more about mist and steam and magnificent European music. And it was just the most incredible thing Esther had ever seen. And she said to her granddaughter, who was about 9 or 10 at the time, "Isn't that just the best fireworks?" And she said, "So far." And Esther thought, wow, how it must feel to be young and open to all the moreness that is coming, so that you're just not knocking yourself dead over something that stupid. Everything doesn't just have to be the best in the whole world, because there's more and more and more and more and more. It's like, don't get too excited, Grandma. There's a whole lot more coming. Maybe not for you, but for me, there's a whole lot more coming.
As you were swirling then, the words that you spoke earlier about making peace with your eternalness just come straight back to me. So what's the significance?
Not just your eternalness, your never-endedness. These are the things for the next 30 days we would like you to make peace with. Your eternalness is so big, but your worthiness. Your worthiness. And you know, you are not going to make peace with your worthiness as long as you're holding other people in a place of unworthiness. You got to accept it for everybody. We are blessed. Look at us. We are blessed. Every time a question comes, an answer comes. Every time a problem comes, a solution comes. Every time someone makes their transition to non-physical, they come back into a new experience. In other words, the perfection of your eternal blessedness is really something worth activating on a really regular basis. It'll take the shortage consciousness out of you completely. And it'll make you gracious and eager about the well-being that comes to others. And you'll experience on a daily basis more win, 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 win. You'll feel glad more of the time. Life will be richer and interesting and fascinating and wonderful. You'll just go from delicious moment to delicious moment to delicious moment to delicious moment. And there will be contrast even in the deliciousness and the less deliciousness of the moments. Yeah.
I have a question for you. When Esther goes over the recordings, if she does, in recent weeks and months, is she feeling and noticing the expansion and evolution as we are?
She's feeling it as it's happening. She's ravenous for this moment of expansion. As you gather, the notes that she writes to herself is the appreciation of you bringing your asking to this rendezvous point, because she knows what you're going to summon and how she's going to get to feel while you summon it. It's that for her. It's an in-the-moment awareness of the power of the clarity of your asking. The clearer you are, the more momentum there is in terms of mass consciousness, then the more delicious the aha feels. But that's not only because of the expansion of the message. It's because of Esther's readiness to feel her worthy part in it. All of you. Equal parts, equal worthy parts within it. If you weren't here with your marbles, this wouldn't be happening. That's what we were saying earlier, wanting to explain.
So you say about connecting dots, and I've been doing
Connecting
that.
dots meaning making it obvious to yourself those moments in time and what you were feeling and what that feeling yielded. Connecting the dots of unwanted and wanted manifestations. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
This happened because I was feeling like that for an extended period of time.
I felt like that, and then 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 I wrecked my car.
And I've come to the absolute conclusion for myself personally, and I hope you agree, that love is the answer.
Well, it is not just the answer, it's the basis. We can't say it's the reason because it's the basis. We can't say that it's what you're looking for because it's who you are. You can write a lot of songs about that, can't you? It's the touchstone. Let's talk about it in terms of your chemistry factory. It's the feeling objective. It's the way I want to feel. It's the way I'm meant to feel. It's the way I really do feel. It's the way the larger part of me is. It's what source feels like. It's what well-being feels like. It's the only thing that exists. It's the only thing that exists. And it's being received or recognized in various points of resistance. Hatred is really not letting it in. Insecurity is really not letting it in. It's all that exists, and it's up to any individual to calibrate themselves into as much openness to it as you can find, as you can vibrationally handle. We've talked about stuff in this day, in this room, that has never been talked about in this way before. In other words, all kinds of new avenues have opened up, and the non-physical participants in these gatherings are ecstatic about the new loops that have just opened up just as a result of the thoughts that have passed through your minds. And we're not giving this to you in any form of an assignment. We're just saying that's how powerful and important you are to the unfolding. But what's the purpose of the unfolding? Well, Abraham, what's the purpose of the unfolding? Are we going to unfold, and to what end are we coming? And we say to no end. Then what are we unfolding to? More unfolding. Well, what's the point? It's fun to unfold. It's fun to become. It's interesting and stimulating and life-affirming, and
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
So, what is it that Abraham, a minor being, wants me to know more than anything ever before? What is it right here, right now, in this new place?
If this time-space reality can inspire the desire within you, this time-space reality can deliver it, and quickly. There is nothing off limits, and there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. But it's up to you to calibrate to that. You know how it's not that exciting when grandma pays for your college. You appreciate it, but it's not that exciting. In fact, it just feels sort of normal and expected. It's not that exciting when somebody assigns you a task and you diligently apply yourself to the accomplishment of that task. That's not that exciting. It can be satisfying on some levels, but what really rings your bells is when an idea hatches within you and you know that you just downloaded it. It was an aha moment. And you focused on it, and then you witnessed the cooperative universe just setting the next stone and the next stone and the next stone in place as you watched your path unfold, as you dance along it in a delighted way. Let's see if we can find some words that match what we're wanting you to feel. It's self-empowerment, not assigned blessedness. It's self-empowerment. It's being a creator and creating an atmosphere for self to expand, and a complete comprehension of what that means. And an appreciation of every other person on the planet who is part of the expansion that I'm getting. The we're all in this together sort of thing. An awareness of when I'm on the beam. Sometimes people talk to us about doing something like this work or teaching people, and they worry because a lot of people aren't ready for this conversation, not even close to ready for this conversation. So they want to explain it in a little different way, and they want to leave the non-physical out of it because that's just woo-woo. And they don't want it to be so emotional. They want it to be more practical. Jerry was always looking for things that were practical because he wanted to reach as many people with the benefit of it as possible. But we came round to explaining in a rather forthright manner that if you leave the I was non-physical before I came into this physical body part of it out of the story, out of the explanation, then you can't explain emotions. And if you can't explain emotions, you can't explain guidance. And if you can't explain guidance, you can't explain beingness. If you can't connect yourself to this love energy, this source energy, then you're just going to bang around in various versions of various philosophies, but you're not ever really going to be the happy you that you were born to be. So that's what we want you to walk out of this room feeling like you've tasted a little more of your incredible value and the appreciation that all that is feeling for the individuality and uniqueness that is you, and the clarity and knowingness and ability to focus and the power of the way the law of attraction responds to source energy.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next